That's why ours is one of South Carolina's oldest black family-owned funeral homes that's still in business 107 years later. For generations, my family has chosen to stay here because when you love our state as much as we do, you're able to look beyond her challenges, to see her possibilities, and fight like hell to help her reach her true potential. Sadly, because of decades of desertion and neglect, we're losing so many of our best and brightest to neighboring states that offer higher paying jobs and opportunities for a better quality of life and leadership that actually cares about and caters to the needs of all of the people. That's something South Carolina hasn't had in decades of Republican governors who care only about their base and have no real connection to or compassion for the rest of us. So when my boys, both recent college graduates, tell me that this state, our state, under Republican control, doesn't represent their interests or value their voices, it's heartbreaking. And I know I'm not alone. That's why I ran for office, and it's why I've taken the fight straight to those in power, even when it meant pissing off members of my own party. I've been fighting the status quo for 10 years, and I'm still fighting, taking on the fights that no one else will, even when I have to fight alone. Now, more than ever, having the courage to lead matters. The past year has been very hard. When we needed leadership, we got cowardice. When we should have been united, Republicans politicized everything to divide us. For those who believe, like Governor McMaster and others, that South Carolina should just shut up and get back to their $7.25 an hour jobs, I challenge them to try to live on those wages. And while many South Carolina Dems continue to work hard to solve problems in our rural, underserved parts of the state, the governor is turning away federal unemployment dollars that folks across South Carolina desperately need, proving once again that he's only concerned with one problem, and that's getting himself reelected. Time and time again, these so-called leaders are still clinging to their good old days when the privilege and power of a few trumped the rights and freedoms of many. Yet, here we are. It shouldn't be us versus them or me versus you. We get to decide today who we are and how we plan to move forward. Year after year, gubernatorial election after gubernatorial election, South Carolina Democrats have done the same old things, the same old ways, and gotten our butts kicked. The future is now. We've got to reject the notion that South Carolina is always going to be divided, a divided red state. With your help, I look forward to building a unified state where the majority and the minority matter. All too often, we've seen the self-serving good old boys wield power with no courage, abandoning what they know is right for that which is easy and politically expedient. When it's time for them to stand up and fight for us, all of us, we get excuses like, it's not the right time to raise the minimum wage. Well, if not now, when? Change is scary, I get it. But we must remember that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. I believe in a South Carolina where the governor has the courage to lead, the compassion to feel empathy for others, a connection to the people she represents, the character to do the right thing simply because it's the right thing, and the conviction to stand even if she has to stand alone. A South Carolina where everybody thrives, where folks earn wages they can actually live on, where people pay for equal work, where Medicaid is expanded to ensure that all of our state's most vulnerable have access to affordable health care, a struggle I know all too well. Where students get a quality education regardless of where they live, where addiction and mental health, those issues are treated in hospitals, not jail cells. Where rural South Carolina counties no longer are the forgotten corridors of shame and neglect. Where our best and brightest from here, stay here. That's the South Carolina we deserve. And there's an army of excited, everyday people who've been waiting to build a better, stronger state. Scripture reminds me that we walk by faith and not by sight. So if you believe as I do, that together we can build a better, stronger South Carolina, a South Carolina that all of us can be part of, a South Carolina that all of us can be proud of, then this is our moment. But only if we have the courage to seize it. South Carolina is ready for a leader who has the guts to govern. If you're ready for her too, go to miaforsc.com and let's get to work. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you.